know.
I'm going to sit down there and wait for you.
Yeah, we say, my air conditioning in a work.
Tell me, open my window and the door.
Open it up and thing. Oh boy.
Try opening windows and doors.
I know. You know, back
Get a little breeze.
that is exactly what I would have done.
Is it that cold in Florida now? I mean, hot.
Michelle, your head cut off, man. Sure.
Your head is big, like seriously.
A little bit more. Drop it down a little bit more, Mish. No, yeah. Oops. No, yeah. Perfect.
Or we can't believe on a company show, right? And I do on a technical thing. What the heck is this? On a company show, look at I'm pretty up himself and all them thing there.
Oh, then we just help you, Leo. It's ungrateful. We just help you sort out yourself. You look so decent today. And now you are coming with your ungrateful self. Eh? With your
because I want to look good.
Just become it, me get bigger. You see?
Yes. Yeah, beat up your chest. You think you're a big man? No.
Oh, sorry.
Telling you, I'm gonna set the computer so that I can read.
Are we streaming, Leo?
Eh?
We're streaming.
Yeah, we are live. We are live.
Okay.
We are
Good
live.
morning. Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Good morning.
Morning, all.
I hope you're
Good to
having
see you, no?
a wonderful Saturday morning.
Yeah? I am having a wonderful Saturday morning. I don't know about Uno. Me.
Why?
Because me look upon two beautiful, pretty ladies. That are my Saturday morning.
Sweet talker. Thank you.
Because now have no fried dumpling or ackee and saltfish meat this morning, you know. So
Oh, you want to catch in a restaurant?
Yeah.
Hold on there. Supposed to say, me have come Friday dumpling for you. That's what you're supposed to say.
Oh, but we don't say we're not chefs.
Exactly. Like, we are no better.
You know something? I prefer the ladies who grew up in 1930s and 1940s because them teach them how to be domesticated. What the word? Domesticated? How to cook?
No, we're domesticated. So we do domestic work like that. But that's not domestic work. Because you say that you could eat ackee and saltfish, we must jump up and say, oh, maybe go make it and what to you. You don't have no hand.
That's what a
you
wife
don't have
would
no
do.
hand.
That's what a wife would do, a regular wife.
In our century. In our century.
I'm telling you,
a regular wife.
In the 40s and 50s. I would wake up. A man would wake up to a nice breakfast, and you know, and him at the head of the table. You know, remember them days? The head of the table, the drumstick, the two drumstick on him plate, and a piece of breast, and everybody just get wing and leg.
Was the woman working at that time?
Of course. No.
Well, Leo, when you send the check, them come to me and Michelle, we will.
No, not me. I'm going to take the check, but you're going to buy your own food or you cook your own food. I'll take the check.
Well, Mas Leo, send the check come because I know a good man who make good fried dumpling. I will just buy it from him.
Somebody write to me and said, 3 crazy people. Lord, I want them to know say I'm hungry too.
Right, how they mix me up in that?
You know, they mix me up.
The one that is saying that a woman should be making him breakfast, right?
Yeah, I want to wake up to my breakfast on the table, well prettied up and well garnished up, and you know, yeah.
Ladies,
and, you know, the
are you
supposed
listening to him?
Well, I know the wife's supposed to stand behind the chair and wait until the husband tastes the food, and then after he tastes the food, I say, then she go and go sit down. That's how it's supposed to go.
You know what? What is saying go? Every sticker bush have its fire. You will find somebody that will do that for you. So listeners, that's what Leo is looking for. in a
No, no, Michelle, you're crazy. You're really crazy. The title appropriate because Leo crazy, you crazy. Which part Leo gonna find woman who are gonna stand up behind him while he takes food and say, and then sit down to eat? She probably don't eat away the belch and just go about her business.
Maybe somebody out there will do it. I don't know, not me.
Well, I want a husband like that while you're at it.
It used to happen, okay? It used to happen. No,
well, I'm looking at a husband. I want a husband who will do that.
I don't mind.
What Michelle I say? I hear Michelle.
Hear me?
You weren't hearing you before, but I hear you now.
For my husband, if he wants to do it, he can do it.
Oh.
If he wants to order it, he can. If he wants to hire someone to do it, he can. He has options. I don't care. He doesn't have to do it.
We can't bother with them kind of new.
So if you were to define your ideal husband, Michelle, what and yes, but what are the ideal traits? Let us pretend you're not married. And we're not meaning to offend anybody. All right, never mind. You don't have to answer, Leo. Your ideal.
No. You answer that first, Diana.
My ideal husband, he must love without reservation me. He must provide for me fully. And when I say fully,
what does that mean?
Physically mean two houses. One house on the beach, one regular house. He must provide for me emotionally. So he can have him friend them out a road and we have designated time, that is our time and for him time. So we have that quality time. And don't ask me no question, I'm not asking you none. And he must, yes, don't ask me no question, I not ask you none. And he must make special time, which includes going out. So if it's a dance once per month, or is the movies or something like that, him no need to get up and cook for me. No one man who make good fried dumpling, me buy it there. So I will cook and saltfish when I need it. And if we feel like cooking, we cook. If we don't feel like cooking, no big deal. No beat up, no raise no hand, no raise no voice. If you raise your voice, pack a little dulcimina and leave the house. The house them.
So me lose long time now because for my voice big. You hear already? For me gone. That the last thing. And for me gone long time.
Yes, I know talk loud in my house.
I see what I talk about. Oh Jesus, me dead now. Lord. Me want a wife who can tolerate me because I'm a miserable bad.
You lose again.
That's all. Oh my God. Want to start me off for this morning? Want to start me off for?
Oh Lord.
It look too big. Oh.
What let's ask the audience to name 2 traits that they would not compromise on in a partner. 2 traits. Respect for God and thoughtfulness. You not compromise on that. You must respect God, you must have a relationship with God, and you must be thoughtful of others. 2 traits. What 2 traits you're not going to compromise on in a partner? She said faithfulness.
Oh, me?
Mm.
You know, so me want special person. Similar to Leo. You have to be able to handle me. That is most important. If you can't handle me, you're going to have a rough time.
All right.
You see, with different personalities, it go rough.
Yes.
I don't know what I'm going to wake up with. This morning I might be happy. Tomorrow morning's a different story.
And you must understand.
Exactly.
All right, good. Fair enough.
I'm not particular either. I think whatever goes, I will respect and regard what you are, and try to see. I'll try to see what is it that I can do to make some of the things work between us, because not everything going to work. And as long as we understand, come like what Diane said, whatever. She said something like, don't watch me. What you said?
Yeah, do your own thing. Have your life, but make time.
Me do my thing. Yeah. Because we are individuals. And at this time, when we had 16 and we start a little relationship, right? We didn't think that relationship will last for the rest of our life. It was easy to think that. But as you get older and you get to where you are now, you realize that so many things are involved in a relationship that you can't come to it with your own fixed ways, or else it might not work, because your fixed ways going clash with the person who don't have fixed ways or who have fixed ways. Either way, whether the person have fixed ways or don't have fixed ways, you go and clash. And so I bet come with it, your open mind, so that both of you can start to understand each other and figure out, okay, where do we mesh? Where do we? That's how me want.
Yeah, and it's a learning thing. You're consistently learning, and as long as you're learning and growing, and as you say, you have to be understanding. You have to be flexible, because you can't stuck in your ways. You have to be able to give up things. And I think that's the problem with a lot of people. They have a long list of things that they want, and they foreclose themselves from having a decent relationship, because they're like, meet 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So therefore,
I have a friend at 24. I have a friend that had 24. Yeah, she's an attorney, right? And she had 24 of them. And that the guy that she got into a relationship with, he met 23 and they broke up, right?
You're lying, sir.
She said, I'm not lying. She said the reason why they broke up is because that one that he missed. That's why they broke up.
3 years are like that.
So she's still single now?
We don't know how long them see her.
You have to compromise.
She must share the list.
Because that happened, and then they realize like their life keep going, and then they realize one day they wake up, they're 40, and they be like, what happened? And then they end up there with anybody.
Come back.
Let me read a few of the comments. Okay, I'll read some of the comments. There you go. Maxine Plummer says, good morning, beautiful people. Kemar is laughing at us. Ruby Love said, when you take off every bill, that is what my mother used to do. I guess you mean take care of every bill? Yeah, when you take care of every bill, that is what my mother used to do. Ruby, she added the care. Ruth says, what if the husband cook better than the wife? In a lot of cases, they do. Wake him up to go cook the ackee and saltfish. Michelle says, agree with Diana on husband quality. Maxine Palmer said he must not be a liar.
Well, I think we're gonna stay with that one. The only one that I would say I come with is that's
Marsha says honesty. Marsha Major said, must be able to communicate well. I am all about communication. Angela also said honesty. Marsha says, Major said, will not change and adjust, willing to change and adjust. Yeah, she corrected it. And have respect for each other. Daly said, Misha, make 40 sound like pasture days. No. 40 is the new 20. BJ said, must communicate well.
Well, okay.
Yeah. Communication is important.
It is very important. But, some people misunderstand the term communication. So communication to me means that when I talk to you, I must give you the opportunity to speak back to me. So whatever I say must be welcoming enough that I want to respond. And so it's not like this. We had the last night. 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 That's communication. You are threatening the man. and in our answer are more popular, that kind of thing, right? that kind of thing.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, you have to, it has to be a two-way thing, and you have to set up the two-way before you speak. You have to set it up so that you want him to respond to you or want her to respond to you.
Well, Leo, let me tell you, if I have to ask him that question, there needs not be any response. Because if I have to ask him where he was last night, then he no need to respond. Because he's clearly in the wrong place now.
Yeah, I agree. Because usually you have to express yourself. If you're going somewhere, communication is important, as we say. So you say to the person, I'm going to be out. I'm going to AY.
That's exactly
Don't
right.
For me.
And I might be, I might be late, or if it get too late, I will stay over. I don't, just let's have that conversation. But if in the morning I have to wake up to ask him, when did they last night? I'm packing that little doozy and say, see the bag here.
Listen, that was not just the question, the situation that I'm bringing up. It's any kind of situation. Okay, so now I can't take it and dice it and throw it.
Right, but you pose a question to us.
Leave me alone.
All right, fine, Leo. Anyway,
we're just
like
helping
the
you.
matter what we need to talk about today.
We're helping you, but communication, if with communication, you don't have to ask question. You already know.
It's true.
Don't need to ask. I already trust the person, so if you have to ask, and it's like no trust this there, because obviously not trust the person or something like one.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
and if he had to be out last night and he come home, me no need to ask him. He should have told me as he walked through the door what happened.
You know already.
Unless you're in a coma, like you got in an accident.
Well, you better stay back in there.
Hey, listen. You hear what she said a while ago? She said, unless he gets sick and was in a coma, you are telling the man that he might be staying there.
You need to tell the people them say that me have one wife, they're going to call her and tell her.
The man don't know saying in a coma. Why?
Lloyd Grant says, good morning, you happy people, just logging in. Marsha also says, if they had communicated with each other, then there was no communication. That is true. Yeah, you have to communicate.
Absolutely. Because if the question that the situation that I brought, it would not have been necessary, because we would have known from the night before that I am going to be out. That makes sense. But there are some situations where even though she knows which part me there, she still can't ask me where you the last night, right?
Yes, she won't cause problem.
There's a deeper, something deeper is going on, right? Yes. All right. I think I like Michelle this morning. I don't like Diana at all. This morning. I like Michelle. All right. Yeah, I like Michelle.
I'm now married to you again. I got married to you one time, but me change my mind.
Exactly. I changed my mind now.
I'm married to you again, Leo. So I'm not friend you. I like you again.
Okay.
I'm looking for a husband.
Marsha Major says, so that's why you need to communicate so it does not cause any misunderstanding or argument. She said, exactly. D. Lee says, what about the other way around if the woman walks in after sleeping out? It's the same issue. She has to stay
that's all right. That's all right.
Not Dr. Dana. We have to be fair. We have to be fair.
Teasing you.
Because some people actually think it goes one way. Like males are at a standard.
No, you have to communicate.
It
must communicate. If I go and sleep out, I go and say, look, you're not coming home. I'm playing Kaluki. We're not done till 4 o'clock, so I sleep over.
Dana, what the hell is Kaluki?
Kaluki is a card game. If you don't play, oh my gosh, I forgot to teach you.
It's a rich people game. What is Kaluki? Rich people.
Kaluki is a regular card game. Just as long as you have 3 or 4 pack of card, you can play. So if it's rich because you have to buy 4 pack and not one, everybody can in 1 pack from a yard. And 4 people minimum play Kaluki and you have fun.
So domino is all right. We can go play domino.
Yes, if you play domino, fine too.
Okay, all right.
Okay, so on our trip that we're planning, one day we're going to do a video playing
Kaluki. Yes. Yeah.
Okay, D. Lee said, oh, Leo, someone wanted to know, what your opinion on the question. It was directed to you. The one about what about if a woman walked in after sleeping out? That was directed.
The same response. I mean, I would have already known where she was from the night before. I don't have a problem with that. Not at all. I mean, communication equals trust, and you don't. And it's unsaid. You don't have to. Once you are communicating the right way, trust automatically form, and it's no biggie. No, so yeah. I'm not worried about that.
Yeah. Okay. Lloyd Grant said communication means that you are conversing, chatting. I agree with the ladies.
Hey, come off on my phone. Come off on my phone. How would that?
Lloyd Grant. Dealey knows what kaluki is, and she said it's the bomb. Nancy said, good morning, guys. Late for class. Happy Sabbath. Happy Sabbath, Nancy.
Sabbath.
Nancy late for class. You have to stand up in that corner. Hold one ears and hold one foot.
Nancy, what the question to you, Nancy, is what is your ideal husband? What him look like?
What two traits? No, that. What two traits should not compare?
Diane wanted to know what him look like. That's what she said.
Okay, while we're waiting on that response, Shanila Dangal says, good morning, watching from Toronto. You guys make my morning. I love this. I'm learning about communication and laughing at the same time.
No, man, communication is top for anything, for work, for home, and it starts in the home, how we communicate as adults in the presence of our children and those who we influence. Dictate or impacts who they become and how they communicate. You'll find that people who grow up in a home where there is this abuse, mental or physical abuse, the younger ones grow up practicing it because they think it is the norm or it's acceptable. So it's important how we communicate. And I think that I always hold that we need to be more restorative in how we engage each other. So drop the why. Don't ask people why, just ask what happened, for starters, to get a good conversation going.
Yeah.
It's not just
Marlon. Oh, sorry.
Marlon, go ahead.
Okay, Marlon Hyde says, in order to gain trust, one must show themselves to be worthy of it. Look for the fruits. That is true.
To be worthy of it. Explain that. You must go explain that. I mean,
no,
it can't
in
be
order, if you want trust, you can't just say, oh, show people that you're trustworthy. So how you want somebody to trust you?
I hope I didn't extend the wrong thing there. What I was
no, he's just giving an opinion.
Oh, okay. Because to me, if you are communicating correctly, you don't need to think about trust because it comes with the territory. But the point I wanted to make was, as soon as Dan started talking a while ago, I'm starting to think about children that I grew up with and even my own kids. Because do you recognize that when we were growing up and getting our asses whooped, that
talk for yourself,
we shut up, we don't say anything.
That's true.
No matter what parents are asking us, we don't answer. And even if we answer foolishness, that kind of thing. It's like, and some parents, when they lick you and they ask you a question, then we say to you, you will answer, and you say, no, talk back to me. And I'm like, you like same way. This is, a murderous business that,
That is true. That is true. I agree with you because funny enough, I was watching this, like on Facebook, sometimes they show some stories, like reality shows that come on TV that I've never seen. There was this guy that's popular. He's always in trouble with his baby mother and his mother, and he was on a talk show, right? And the mother said, I fear you. Like she feared him. So she got a restraining order against him because how he's aggressive. And she didn't understand. Yeah, her son. And she was like, I don't understand where you got this from. And the guy said to her, Mother, do you remember when I was a child with the father living in the household? When you got upset, you threw a knife at daddy, you locked him out, you yelled at him. And then she went quiet. because he was doing the same thing that he learned how to deal with people, not talking, but being aggressive, especially if people don't do what he wanted. And she was like, but you were a child. And he was like, it doesn't matter, you did it. So that's what I learned. And that is how I deal with all relationships. And then when the mother finally got mad at the father, she just moved and cut the father out of the life of the child. And that's why when the baby mother left him, he didn't communicate with his child and went on with his life because that's what he learned from his mother. And she didn't realize she caused him to be how he is right now. And so you are right, Leo. It's important.
Many persons don't understand that kids learn by looking at you, at what you do. They really do. They immerse themselves into the way you are as a parent. And, you know, there are a lot of things that my dad did or my mom did that I didn't approve of when I was growing up. And sometimes I find myself doing them too, as an older person. And not that it's wrong, or it could be borderline wrong, or it could be something that is not acceptable by somebody else. And you have to catch yourself and say, oh my God, you know, I shouldn't have done that kind of thing. And so you as an adult, you can mimic what parents did when you don't even realize that you're doing it. It is easy to do.
Yeah, that is true. And like, even when he said he wanted a wife to cook and clean, like some people were raised like that and they think it's their duty. Like they will work a full shift and go home and say, oh, they have to do it because mommy used to do it, daddy used to do it. Or the boys think that because mommy did it, my wife needs to do it too.
And then fight their wife for that too.
Exactly, because that's what they were taught. They were never taught like, okay, you can do it too. If you're hungry, you can go make your own food. You don't have to wait on a wife like you're crippled to do it.
Have dry crackers around the sun, butter and all them things that you can go eat anytime.
But children are impacted. We got a lot of comments.
Okay, let's hear them.
Okay. Nancy says, Tulio, you asked her a question. She said, my ideal husband is hunky, a wrestling look. So she's looking for a wrestling type. Sandra is up. She said, good morning, my beautiful people. Marsha said, that is one thing I won't compromise in a relationship. Communication is key for me. Once we can communicate with each other, everything else falls into place. That is 100% true. Pamela said, you guys are hilarious. You make my Saturday morning. Lloyd says, Leo, I'm in my 70s, but I grew up in the country. I was well taught by two loving parents in a community. D. Lee says, what if the subject of your affection communicates honestly that he or she is bisexual? Well, it's up to you.
Just ask.
Yeah, just ask, and it's up to you if it's something that you could deal with. Because you have people that deal with it. They're like, they know the spouse is attracted to another and they remain because that's what they want. So as long as it's communicated to you and they decide to be in a relationship, commit to it. Don't use it against a person if they already told you and you decided to stay.
No, from a Jamaican standpoint, what might be typical is that one person is and the other person isn't, and they won't talk about it, and one will not tell the other that I am this way or I am that way, and the other one will not ask the question either way. And so
yeah, but that's what she said. They told you.
They told you. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you deal with it. Up to you. Your choice. Marsha said, I want a good communicator. Okay, so Marsha is looking for a husband. She wants a good communicator to marry. So see, we might.
I am available.
Marsha, Leah is available, but let's understand this, Marsha. I need to get my phone before you guys get married. I don't want to step on any toes.
As long as you can take the loud talking. Okay, you're cool.
Marsha, him promised to go up on trip with me and Michelle.
Yeah,
With that.
After we trip, we again do whatever. Chinala said, my children are very vocal and have their opinions, but at the same time, they are very respectful. I love how they communicate with us as parents, as opposed to me when I was growing up. I was not allowed to communicate, chat back, as they would say, with our
that
parents.
was communication, just not talk.
Yeah, and that was a problem back then, you know, like children should be seen and not heard. And that's a big problem. That's why a lot of them, when they go through abuse, they don't say anything because they don't know how to communicate it.
You know, the topic of our discussion this morning was the topic on our advertisement this morning was something about madman, something
going mad in Jamaica.
Going mad in Jamaica. And and it, you know something, there's some empirical
evidence
that has to do with how you are brought up as a child, not being able to express yourself, right? And later on, it becomes a problem and boom, affect you. Yeah.
Leo?
Yeah. And go ahead, Dinah.
Thank you for sharing that. But I would want to take some exception to that it cannot be a commonplace. I'd love to see what the evidence is, the data that supports it. Because then all of us who grew up in a particular era who could not speak back to our parents when we were getting our lickings, then well, are we mad?
Yeah, and I, say science can go both ways, right? Can prove one way and prove the other way, right? And it's so you'll have some persons who is it probably tolerance. It's you. How about that?
Sneeze.
That's a fancy sneeze.
So insensitive. It's a good thing, so my self-esteem no low because me that start cry, I know.
Good morning, Andrea Chin. Good morning to you.
I'm going to say bless you. I say what that.
Okay, let me read some. We have a lot of comments. This is a hot topic. Lorna says, I agree that you learn from your parents. However, as an adult, you can choose to unlearn bad habits. That is true. Marcia said, children live what they learn. That is 100% true. Keisha said, good morning, everyone. Patricia said, good morning, Leah, Diana, Michelle. Blessings to you all. Marcia Major said, I read up Leah a long time. Oh, she read up a long time.
Yes! Yeah. I hope a good things, you know. I hope a good things.
I just said, good morning, guys. Checking in from North Carolina. Hot topic. Patricia said, you all looking good on TV.
Hey!
Marsha said, Michelle, don't worry. We're not making Leo fool me. Nancy said, Leo, Jamaica attitude are changing. There's a lot of persons who are open to talk about their sexuality now. Yeah, I see it a lot.
Yeah. And I'm not saying that. I'm saying traditionally, basically, that's what the situation was.
Michelle says, good morning, everyone. Marsha says, Leo look like he will drive me crazy. Lorna says, everybody want to eat old Leo before him get another wife. Okay. Oh, we got them more because we go on trip.
And I get your phone, right? I get your phone.
Shadela says so true. But I have to learn to change the cycle for my Leo. Yeah, true. People have to change cycles. Sandra said, growing up, I got a whooping for no reason. I didn't talk much, so what people thought I was naive, but I was actually observing. Now I'm very expressive in every aspect of communication, whether good or bad. That is true. I used to observe a lot as a child.
But you didn't get beaten.
No, me never get beaten.
Exactly.
Because either when I do something, you don't see it. But my mother went always open, kind of. She went kind of blunt. She's a teacher, so you know, she just.
Diana, you didn't get beaten?
Of course.
I don't know what I'm to Michelle, you know. I don't know what I'm to Michelle. We
get beaten at home, we get beaten at school.
Exactly.
If you get beaten at school, you're going to get another beaten at home.
Exactly.
Beating at school was very rare. Not really. It would be in the course of teaching that you would get a beating. So you get a beating because them ask you the question first and you don't know the answer, you get a beating. Then them ask my friend Jackie Hilton and then she get the second beating or vice versa. That's usually the order. The throw in at the class, her mother teaching the class, and the question get thrown at us first. She going to teach some new concept, but we never hear of all our life. She asks we the question. What the hell we must have to know we write lesson plan. She beat we.
But the thing is, I still feel the strap on my hand up to this day. Wow. I still feel it.
Yeah, one teacher beat me. I'll never forget her in grade 2 for spelling one word. Mark me right here, so. One word incorrect.
Michelle,
word.
Michelle, one time in your life you get licked.
Well, me get you. I'd have been like stand out. Like I remember my mom beat me in front of the school because I cursed. I was in the second grade also.
Right.
Well, I think my grandmother told her not to do it again, and it was an issue, so she couldn't do it again.
Oh, you have a classic growing up there. Oh my God. So,
but then, you know, my mom, like her voice was so strong. Like when she said one thing, it's like you're scared straight. Like she didn't have to hit you, like even her students. She didn't have to beat them. She just talk in a manner that you will do the right thing.
We know those kind of teachers. we are accustomed to them too. Oh my God.
We have a lot.
Okay,
Nancy
good.
Rose says we are not mad, Diana, but traumatized. That is true. They are traumatized. Okay. Arlene said, morning, me people. Chinilla said, children. TJ said, what do you guys do for the youth in Jamaica?
All right. I said, we beat them.
We can't beat them again. Jamaica change that law. You can't beat them again. It's actually
what exactly is she talking about?
Yes.
Perhaps consistent with our headline. When we get into that, probably in the top of the hour, we can talk about how we treat youth as it relates to mental issues.
Yeah, and then I said, good morning, folks. Just woke up little. One kept me up all night. You all look banging this morning. Oh. I never got licks growing up. Oh. Parents didn't believe in that. Oh. And you are doing well, Diana. Tell them, Diana, lick not always work. Elise says, some mental disorders are genetic and many are caused by the pressure of trying to maintain appearance and living up to expectations.
True.
Yes.
Sanchez says communication is a two-way street with lots of street lights, no darkness or bushes or bush. Shanila said if we get beat in school and go home and tell our parents, we would have gotten some licks again. That is true back then.
True.
Not now. Parents want to fight teacher. Arlene says, I think some of these beatings were out of frustration. That is true on many different levels.
Frustration because we can't spell the word.
Also, they're having other issues.
I don't hear you.
Sometimes they're having other issues.
Oh, the teachers them having a lot. Yeah. Even
the parents, like poverty. Yeah. Lloyd said children rearing is universal. If you are just focusing on Jamaica, we are not engaged in the world.
Well, you know, Jamaica, which one I come from, and I am more concerned about, I'm being very biased and very prejudiced at this point in time, and I'm more concerned about the children in Jamaica than I am concerned with children in India or Europe or wherever. I mean, that's where I know. That's where I grew up, and that's where I have if I have to do anything to help, that's where I will help. And so, yeah, I'm sorry.
So that's your area of influence and you're sticking to it. You can influence children in Jamaica And so there's a focus.
Absolutely right
on it. But we're not saying that we care for all the cultures and all the territories, but we have a particular prejudice or bias, as they would say in the research, for Jamaica.
For Jamaica.
Yeah, we can only speak on what we're familiar with, because we can't talk about other countries if we don't know what's happening. We can't speak on it because we don't know if they beat their children. Like, we don't know. Like, do I know? I know, like, my friends from other countries have said they get beat, and basically some of them get treated like how we were. You can't speak, speak when spoken to, and all that stuff. They too get it, but that's not, like, I can't really speak fully on that.
Children are to be seen and not heard.
No, my child will be heard and he will be seen. And if anybody uncomfortable with it, you can get out of our space.
Hey, listen, that's a warning to you. Okay. Oh boy, I'm telling you. I was listening to one of my favorite speakers. His name is Neil deGrasse Tyson. Anybody know him? Neil deGrasse.
Very name.
He's what them people them name were study the stars and stuff, right?
Astrologist.
Something like that.
All right, him a palm reader.
And a palm reader, yes, my palm reader. Anyway, he said one day, I was listening to him, and he said, astrophysicist, that's what he is, astrophysicist.
Okay.
He said one day, he says, instead of beating our kids every time you see them do something, he says, what about allowing them to step in that dirty water, or allowing them to mess up the glass that's in front of them, the mirror or something like that? Because that's the way that he's experimenting. He's throwing theories at things and trying to figure out how to resolve them, asking himself questions. And by us coming in and disturbing that child will not go back there and will not learn anything else. And so why not allow him to learn to step in the water? He might get ringworm. Remember ringworm? Ringworm.
Yeah.
He might get ringworm, but if he don't get the ringworm, him now knows he won't get ringworm if he step in the dirty water. And so I'm always going to have questions. Should I step in there or should I not? I mean, that's an extreme situation. But look at your child as they go around the room and they touch. And instead of slapping him on his finger and say, pow, don't touch it. Why not allow him to touch it and then see what happens?
Yeah, that's what I do with my son. I know, when they're around some people, they'll be like, oh, I'm bad. But I'm like, no, he's not. He's exploring, because he will go, like, as I say, run in water. When it rains, like, he always wants to run outside. I usually let him go. I put on his raincoat, take him outside, run him, like, let him run, jump in the puddle, like barefoot. Sometimes I put on in water boot, and then he loved to do it. Now he grew out of it. I guess he got what he wanted out of it. Yeah. He loved to, like, throw things on the wall, but he's just looking at how it bounces. Because you see him get different objects to throw. So he knows the ball will bounce, but if you throw one off a block, it's not really gonna bounce as how. So that's how he's
learning is occurring. Learning is occurring.
He's learning.
Yeah.
So I just let him be,
Oh,
as long as I'm there, if there's a danger, like I'll say danger, and but I let him do it.
I think and some people will find that annoying, some parents, some other adults. So it's best if you are around him at all times so that you know that you can control it. Because that will become a bother to some people. You know what I mean?
It is.
Yeah.
And that's why I don't take him certain places.
Okay.
Like, if I know how you are, I won't. Because, like, at my house, I will let him jump on the couch. Because he'll
not me, Diane.
But
and that's how
you can always take him to my house. You can always take him to my house.
That's how I did my house. I didn't buy expensive furniture because I didn't have a child as yet. So I have nothing that he could really ruin. You know, like I say, it's this expensive. So I don't want, so he can run, he can do whatever he wants. But I know some people, places that they have the expensive furniture.
Oh my God, oh my God.
No, but for me, and that is where I draw a line. I'm not going to compromise in terms of what is in the house and what the fixtures are and the furniture. I'm not going to compromise on that. But I don't allow growing up, raising my children, it was okay for them to do things, but to understand too the consequences. So, okay, you can always jump on it, but you're going to have to take off your shoes in your socks, kind of thing. So I'm not going to compromise on the other things. All right, this glass here is a little bit heavy, and if it drop, it's going to crash.
I don't put
want to use the other glass that is not as heavy and not as light. So they grow up, you know.
Yeah, that's how I do it. He learns his cups, so he know like certain cups that don't belong to him, so he'll go for his cup. But then you can't tell people, because sometimes I've been to houses where, you know, like people have a frown on their face. So, you know, like this definitely, I'm not bringing him back here.
No, but well, then you're not going to have a continuing relationship with that person, because if I have to say, okay, I want to go over to Mary. Oh, shucks, I can't carry David and Dana because Mary going frown. Then me not go Mary yard. I mean, I really need Mary.
Yeah, I don't.
So Mary can't stay where she did.
Yeah, because children are children.
Dana ready. She meet the criteria. She meet the criteria. She have patience.
Yeah, because it's funny, you know, because when you go to Jamaica, some people like, you know, like how Jamaica have like a figurine and from the queen or whatever. And like, I'll be like, okay, I'm not going to let him run because I don't want him to go. And like, no, make him run. Make him run.
Make him run.
He run.
I remember growing up and, you know, there's some pieces of things in the cabinet that you're not allowed to use except at Christmas time. I use it all the time for me not drink out of plastic, me not drink out of that and all of that. And mother just roll her eye because she said, she don't know where me come from.
Some more comments came in. Arlie says, I think some of these beatings were, I read that.
Leo, what about YouTube? We don't have no comments. Sorry.
Yeah, man. Good afternoon.
You keep forgetting about YouTube.
Pauline McKee is on. She says, good afternoon. Pauline, where there? Why you say good afternoon? Watching from, Great Britain. Oh, nice.
Hi.
Pauline. And Andrea Chin says she's watching. She's just checking in. Andrea, thank you so much. There's somebody here. Janice Farquharson says, people go through a lot and suppress their feelings.
Yeah.
And to top it off, it's been taboo to discuss a lot of things that needed to be discussed. True.
It's true. Sanchez says, I think I got beatings because I was easy to lick. Me never talk back, I just complied. Lord said, growing up in Jamaica was very different. I wouldn't change it. However, I would not choose to go back to it. Veronica said, good morning, friends and families. Peter Gay says, good morning, everyone. Dana says, my 2-year-old will just jump in that puddle. We get out of the car and splash all over. My grandmother said, don't let him do that. I say, why? He's learning anything that is her age group. He thought when he visited someone's place will behave. It's like you hear the sigh of relief. He begins to run wild. Yeah, Adrian just loves run wild. Lloyd Grant said, me and Donna grew up in the same household and same era. Beat.
Who, Dana? Dana ain't talking about.
Oh, Dana.
Yeah.
Who said that?
Corporal punishment, Lloyd. Corporal punishment is scriptural. My mom used a whip for correction. She tells us why she did it. Whipping should not be done. She tells us why she did. Whipping should not be done willy-nilly, abusive, or in anger. Lisa said, hi, guys. Hi, Lisa.
Good morning,
yes,
Lisa.
some parents beating. I can't remember. I'm not sure if you remember that video last year where the father was drunk. And I guess he was out of work and frustrated and he was beating the little girl. I'm not sure if you remember that video.
Oh, let's speak on that because I saw Dana made a comment this morning that was quite interesting. And I needed to mention, she said, Just give me a minute. Lots of mad people in Jamaica. Stepdad who beat 4-year-old child to death. Recently, 3-year-old beaten stepdad. Police cut off Rasta here. Family member fight and kill each other. There's this one mentally challenged guy who used a rock stone and kill a policeman. Did you see that?
Yes. Yesterday. Sad. Up in Yes, but you know.
But they said he did it before. He's
yes, that he was aggressive and they shot him. The police killed him.
But that's the problem, though. Sorry to cut you off. Because
mental illness or mental issues has always been an unaddressed matter in Jamaica. It's been a matter that a lot of families don't address. So if you have somebody who's a little bit off in the head, then try to just make them stay in the house and somebody look after that person and them don't go out. Usually that was used to happen. Then we had a phase where the mentally challenged person would end up at Bellevue and they would stay there. In recent years, in a cost-saving measure, the government sent home these mentally challenged persons to their families. Now, when I have a mentally challenged son who for the past 5 years has been at Bellevue and he comes home to me, what competencies do I have or my community or my household have to support this boy? What he's not going to take his medication.
I want to make sure something. Did you just say that the government released mentally challenged people to their household?
Yes, there was, and in fact, within the very first month of it happening, it might have been 3 or so years ago that they said that these persons could go home, were going to go back to their communities. So they sent them back to their communities. And there was an incident in Manchester, and I think the police ended up shooting the boy because they were called again and they shot him. He was having a problem taking his medication. Parents and family members and communities not trained to manage this. So I can imagine that when I read that article about the boy who in Linstead yesterday, who hit the policeman, stoned the policeman, and the police died. There was a comment by a family member that said that there was a home, but the home was costing $40,000 per month. And they're like, where they must get that from? So him just out on the road.
Yeah, my experience with crazy people from where I'm from is that there was this one lady, a car actually hit her and I don't know why, but she would throw stuff. Like we knew her growing up and then she get mental. And she hit a few people, but I don't see where they were locking her up. And even when I visited one time, I was sitting and she like arguing that I'm taking some man from her. This guy was next to us. And then she threw something, but you know, it missed me. But people were laughing. Like, oh, that's just she and it's funny. And I think she hit my best friend in her head and nothing came off it. So it's like they're not doing anything. And there was this other man that chopped off a guy's head. And it's somebody that they were feeding and helping. But remember, they're mental, so they don't know what will happen. Because one day they're fine, next day they see you as the devil. But these people should be treated. They should ensure that they get their medication. And if you say they're sending them back home to their family, they have to train the family to take care of them. No, they do it here, where they educate you here in the US before they bring the family. They have sessions with you at the hospital or clinic before they send home the patient with you. So you know when to give them their medication, and then they have social workers that go into your home to check on it and provide support, and they give you resources to use. So it can be done. With all that money.
Is that what the government did, Diana?
No, obviously not. They just send them home.
There's nothing except
to work like that.
Medication. This is what you want.
Because even the other day, and you know they have it though, because even the other day in Farmer, there's this girl that lives in Hague that she goes mental, but she wasn't taking her medication, and they called the hospital and they came and picked her up. Like 3 guys came in a van to get her. So they do have it. It's just that they don't utilize it to come get her, tie her up, put her in the whatever, to let her get her shot. Because she's supposed to get her medication every month.
Yep.
So they have the facilities. They can do it. They're just not invested in it.
And I think too that we can't ignore that in this digital era too, there are some things that are causing people to go crazy. Probably just sitting and staring at screens more, this inability to have that physical interaction with other people. All of these things are weighing down heavily. This having to put mask up all the time and stay indoors. All these things are compounding already existing mental challenges. But what always irks me though is the fact that we have these mentally challenged persons who have been sent back to their communities, and we have not prepared how we manage these people. See the evidence of it. This boy, there is no place for him to go. Him always getting aggressive. He needs other mental challenge, other mental help, apart from somebody just giving him a medication. So he goes carelessly, a policeman loses his life.
From me, I grew up, and I'm sure from way before that too, there has always been, mentally challenged, what we call madman on the road or madwoman, and it's, sometimes when you grow up with these things, if you don't become educated about these particular issues, then it just become a norm for it to happen. And you see it every day and you just say, that's it. You know what I mean? But, the more I think about it, why is it that the government allow these people to be on the street, uncared for, no form of care, and they walk around and sometimes create fear upon communities? Because people, when they see somebody who's challenged, you walk far, you go up on the other side of the road because you never know if they will go and chop you, slap you, whatever it is.
Run you down.
And the government need to create a space where these people can be relevant.
Yeah, I know they provide food for them to eat, like agencies provide food for them, but they need to give more. Like they have the medication for them. I think they don't pay for the medication, but they need them to go out and ensure that they take the medication.
Can you imagine that police officer's family this morning, coming to terms with a madman throwing a rock and killing the officer? How random is that?
Yeah, and it's kind of sad because people I know with bipolar and they have names for it, like bipolar and all those things. Like here, they function well where they are working. They are big doctors, lawyers. They just take their medication. So these individuals can be functional if given their treatment.
Yes, but let me tell you, the mental issue has long been with us, and as recent as 2020, we can't even go back to 2020. There was an incident where a mentally challenged individual killed a 2-year-old, Romeo Henry, who allegedly killed a 2-year-old girl by slashing her throat and injured another child and an elderly man in the same manner in Barker district, somewhere in St. Mary, April 15, 2020. These things, he was despondent after being laid off from his job due to COVID.
Yeah.
And this is how he treated with it. Now, this is a sane person. Imagine those that have a long established issue. Family members are not trained to care for mentally ill persons. They do not understand the condition and are just downright scared sometimes of how the people manifest them things.
Yes, they're very scared. And I got a text here from Petal Thompson. Petal says, homeless or mentally ill, which accounts for more? So we have a lot of homeless on the road in Jamaica too, right?
Yeah, we do.
Who are not mentally challenged.
No, they're not. They just have nowhere to go, like especially people who are deported or lost their jobs. But even the other day, who wasn't that mental guy that stabbed up a few of them, killed a few on the streets? Remember that case a few? I know with COVID it seems so long ago, but I think it was last year. Remember the homeless people that were killed?
Yes. Somebody went about and beat them in their heads and bullied, what they call it, bullying or whatever it is today.
Bludgeoned them.
Yes.
And it was a deportee, and he was actually released. Like he went to court and was released. He wasn't like.
And I do remember I sat on the show, and he said a lot of the mentally challenged persons who were at Bellevue were now in prison, sharing space in prison wards.
I tell you, I don't know. We need to take on.
It need to be addressed.
It need to be addressed. The stories of mentally challenged persons committing horrifying acts of violence against loved ones or strangers. It's well documented in the Jamaican history. We largely just fail to adequately deal with mental illness, and to, our own detriment, as the article says, another sad reality.
There's a lot of comments coming in. Oh my. Let me read a few. Sandra said the theory can be conflicting. Leah, you got a lot of licks and you're fine. I work with a lot of children, and some parents will do what you are doing, Michelle, and the child would actually be aggressive to the parent. Not that I know, because it's a Montessori way that I'm doing, and they're not that I know.
Yes.
It's also as if they are the parent and the parent is a child. I am talking about abusive expressions such as hitting, kicking, and telling the parent to shut up and please. No, my child is not like that. No, not all the children. Those children might have other issues dealing.
A different type of child.
Yeah, that's different. Exploring is different.
Those children might be mentally challenged.
Yeah, or something. Because if sometimes too, you have to understand too, like sometimes when children are hitting, you have to find out why they're hitting. Because sometimes it's because a child has hit them, you just don't see the other child hit them. Or they want to play with something, as you say, you just grab it and say, no, don't touch it. And they're up frustrated. So you kind of have to talk to them to see why they're frustrated. Then I said whipping should never be done. That is true. When I say whipping, what I mean? Like the switch and just a beat on the left, right, and center. That's
just
what I'm talking about.
Any lick, any physical licking.
Okay, Maureen said, hi there. I'm watching from Germany, born and raised in the UK, and I'm second generation Jamaican. I'm loving the life. Thank you. Mara says, too much lace weed. That's true. Lace weed doing a lot of young people. Diana said, we were in Montego Bay earlier this year, leave the hotel, walking around, an insane man chasing folks. We stopped, stood still. We just looked at us. He just looked at us and kept it moving. Never attacked us. Spouse says, if he attacks us, he is dead. No, was he really insane? And I see that a lot, where they're running after people and people just laughing like it's funny. Lloyd Grant says, children, freedom in America must mean they can do it to you, but you should not retaliate. Do you remember what Jesus said about the Pharisees? Listen to them, but do not do what they do. Peter Gates says, mental illness is real, and it is stigmatized and not taken seriously in the Black community. One day, I'll tell you guys a story about how I went to university to study psychology, but came out with a business degree. Psychology, really have your question in yourself. I did 1 and 2, and trust me, I thought I was mental. You know, when I have to look at the elements.
She went to school for psychology.
I go with
a business degree. Okay.
I would need you to tell me about it.
I'm going to tell us about that.
Veronica said, I was raised by my grandmother, and you know what not to do. If you tell a lie, you are going to get a beating. I will not change the way I was grown up for nothing. It made me stronger living in America. Diana said, Mara Robinson, you said too much lace weed. That calm folks down, and that is a fact. Guess I thought it affects folks differently. I guess you don't know what lace weed is. It's weed that has cocaine in it or something else, Krista. I don't think you know what lace weed is. Diana. Polachi says, I remember playing hide and seek with a male and his sister. Apparently, my grandmother was calling me because I was, oh, this is long. I was intent on not being found by my friends. I didn't hear her. Well, I was adjusting my skirt when I finally heard her voice and ran to her. I got the beating of my life. I could not sit at school the next week. Years after living in the States, I went back for a visit. After the usual pleasantry, I reminded her of the incident. I asked her why she gave me that beating. She said she was beating me the idea out of her head, said playing with boys was a no-no. I was pleased with the response. I could not tell that's why she get the beat. I was pleased with the response, but I let it go since that was the only beating I got received growing up with her.
Well, only thought on those. So in our community, there's always one or two or three guys, mostly men that are challenged, mentally challenged. And I remember one in our community, we call him Strength. So when we wanted to go running and training, we'd go to Strength's house and throw a rock on the board, and him come out and see us boys, and him start run us. Listen, this man had donkey breath, okay? Because we run for 4 or 5 miles, and him still there behind us. Okay, and I have never heard of anybody that he caught, but sometimes when we reach like back a bridge, after we take 4 miles, and we reach a bridge, we'll see Strength pass us, walking past us. So we don't know if he never recognized who it was, but he knows that there are some boys, and he just start run back away. Then there was this other guy.
Hold on. I don't know, own personal trainer.
The chaka.
Yes, Strength. If you come from Rockaway at my age, you know Strength, all right? And there's this other guy who he rides a bike. A man that we grew up with. But something went wrong because when I got to like age 18, 19, they start calling him whoops, right? Whoops. And if you ever say whoops, when you pass that man, him jump on him bike and run around with him bike. I mean, I say, what the problem with the word whoops? But this is where these mental things start. You never know what's going on in people's minds. I'm telling you,
That is true. Sharon says, the reason most patients refuse to take their medication, as per the patient, it affects them and they lose their ability to think on their own. It is more than just the medication, and if they do not receive counseling, their need, it makes no sense. That is true.
That's why I know the parents, the family members, if they're not doing some rigid training, they can't handle it because the persons are going to resist getting medication from their family member. Because sometimes them in the behavioral health hospitals or wherever, and if they don't want to take they hold them down and put them in their mouth. Parents not gonna do that. Family member not do that.
Yeah. Arlene Jackson says, some of these nowadays children are out of control and disrespectful to parents and adults out of their homes. I had a friend whose son came into my home and went, Adrian, don't do that. I teach him not to. And went, all right.
We don't know what it is yet. We don't know what it is yet. You have to tell us what it is first.
It is rude. I hate when people do that too. I had a friend whose son came into my house and went straight into my refrigerator. She said fridge, looking for food. And his mother sees nothing wrong with it. I don't like that. That is rude.
I think though it's sometimes difficult for the children to understand the difference in terms of ownership. So if they go into their house, they would go to the fridge and they would get something, you know. So you just have to understand it. It might be that he's thirsty, and so he went to the fridge to get something.
I wonder how old.
Without making a distinction that, oh, this is not my home, but they haven't built those prejudices of ownership that this is mine and this is yours and that is for him, and you know, so they're not making that distinction yet. So it's for us now to say, the child go to the fridge, you'd say, well, are you thirsty? And then you go offer the child something to eat, rather than say, oh, you're going to the fridge, how kind of something is that? No, child is probably thirsty, he's probably wanting a fruit. And I think that we as parents and as aunties and friends need to manage how we interact with children. So rather than look at it as an imposition of my space, the child doesn't have the prejudices that we have.
But you know, Diana, sorry, but you know, Diana, a lot of us parents and aunties and uncles that react to our kids the way that they do, it has nothing to do with any training that they got. It has to do with a hand-me-down, a traditional hereditary kind of thing.
No, Leo, but I'm not going to excuse it on that.
It's hard to break those kinds of habits. Very, very hard. If you didn't listen, I can imagine that if Michelle didn't come to America, right, and learned about Montessori way of thinking, that she would probably be executing what her mom has executed.
Well,
she added a little bit more. Listen, my man.
Let me correct you. My mother taught that way.
Okay, maybe
have a name then.
So let's put it to somebody else. Let's say it's not Michelle, but it's somebody else. And she come America and come find out about Montessori and say, this is the way that I want my child, because me never like how my mother do it. I want to break that cycle. I want to break that cycle. And so, you know, most of what we experienced in Jamaica, it's because of the way our parents, our grandparents, our great-grandparents, or great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandparents did it. And it's just a hand-me-down thing.
Yes, but in the same vein, Leo, I want to say no, because what about my grandfather? They never had a fridge or that sort of thing. But if a child came over, he would get a joint of cane and him chop it up and him share it. And the child going to stand up. If we're eating sugar cane and somebody comes over, I'm going to chop a piece for the child and give to them.
That's what I'm used to, sharing.
They don't always have the kind of prejudices that, since we know who said that, oh, we grow up and we're more modern, have all these modern trappings that we hanging on to as if they are gods. You know, we hang on to these trappings, and these trappings in my house, my fridge is my little god, and nobody not to go in the little fridge.
Yeah,
water and little drinks, little soda, little coconut water, somebody wanted.
Yeah, I think I educate, because with my son, like at my house, before he goes to the refrigerator and ask you, like he said, Mommy, I want a drink, or Mommy, he doesn't go for himself, he just asks, and then I'll go. So even if he goes to somebody's house, he knows. So he's young, as you say, he don't know the difference between mine, but he asks before he does those things. He doesn't touch the stove, you know, like he knows if he wants his pizza, I say, Mommy, stove, you know, pizza, he knows not to go touch it, you know. But I just feel like he's supposed to have proper etiquette. Like you have to, as they get older, you have to teach them these things. You can't just run into people's refrigerator, you know what I mean? You have to ask permission.
Never auntie, right? Who she don't worry about etiquette, right? When our nieces and nephews come our house, fear our fridge lock with padlock.
That's extreme.
You can't go into that. So go with your etiquette and all that thing there. You don't worry about that because you can't get in there.
Etiquette lockout.
I love more comment. Oh man, a lot of comment coming in.
Okay.
Rowan says, when you have a hand-to-mouth society and we have to continuously think of survival, taking care of mental ill is not a priority. I guarantee you that this will be forgotten in 2 weeks. That is true, until the next thing happens. Lloyd says, contrary or abusive actions of servants of the state, example, police, should not be blamed on the government. We are the government. Yes, the people, your community have to make these representations to the appointed people that oversee the affairs of the country. Well, if to be honest, in those cases where there are mental issues and they are turned over to the state is actually responsible for them. If they're
That's in the US. In
Jamaica, not responsible for them. In their state
let me tell you.
facility.
So there was a madman near our complex, and he sets out his bed and
there's a mentally challenged person.
We call them madman. Okay. So there's a mentally challenged individual out there, and you call the police, and the police come and say they can only move the person. They can't do anything else, because if they take the person to the lockup today, they have to let them out tomorrow. They don't have the capabilities. Now, Dr. Sapphire Longmore is president of the Jamaica Psychiatrists Association. Here is a quote from her earlier this year. My concern as it relates to mental health in Jamaica right now is that we will be dealing with an epidemic of mental health issues.
And she's relating that to COVID, right?
And she's relating this directly to COVID. 1 year after Jamaica confirmed its first COVID cases, 138 calls recorded in a single month. Usually them don't see that much for months. And she gets 138, and a majority of them center around suicidal inclinations and tendencies. The communities are not prepared. We don't have a support system in place in communities to support mental illness. And until we address that, COVID compounding it. But until we address that, woe be unto John.
There's a figure that was quoted, a 450 person figure that was quoted by the police officers this morning. They say, what do they say about the mental guys who they picked up on the street? What they say, they locked them up 450 for the year, or I don't remember what the number was. It was something about 450. And I'm trying to find the article. I think they said that they have brought in 450 madmen, that they call them, mentally challenged persons off the streets, but they had to let them go. There's not all that they can do with them.
That is sad and unfortunate.
But it's unfortunate to hear the government say there's nothing that they can do about them, because it is a problem on the street, and some cities are full of people like those just sitting around or causing problems, or need help, or they're hungry, or all different kinds of issues that's going around, and the government not caring. I think they should care. I think this should be a task force ready for that.
Yeah, I think, but it's kind of strange, because I know they have social programs. It's just that it's not tapped into, and maybe put resources towards it. Because I told you with the girl the other day that had an episode, like they sent out a bus with like people.
So they have a mobile clinic.
Yes, so they can do it in communities. They just need, I don't know if Shalon is just, we're different, and we advocate for our people, because we just got, a facility where they can sleep and get food. But it just has to be a priority also for the school. But the churches can help too, and different organizations. It don't have to be on the government alone, but it needs to be addressed, because they can. What's going to happen? People are going to start killing them. They're going to take it on themselves, especially if they harm their family and friends, and start killing them. So they need to address it. Unfortunately,
the single institution in Jamaica that Bellevue. Who built Bellevue? The English You know when Bellevue was built? 1862.
Wow.
One institution in 1862. And since then, we have not built any other facility. We've expanded it, certainly, yes, but we have not provided any alternative. We're not taking this thing serious.
Yeah, like they're supposed to, they can build more, but it's just strange because I see where it works, but it maybe just not, the information is not readily available. And also,
Dana, what are we doing?
Where we live, work, to assist.
What program in Jamaica is running very effective and efficient?
Mental issue?
No, any program.
Oh.
Any program.
Okay, we'll get back to you on that one, Leo. While Dr. Diana work on it, let's read some more comments. Forget about my mother. If we were in America, she would have served jail time for beating my brother.
Yes.
Beating during the week for things they did, but on Saturday she may give a few slaps for things that they may do on Saturday, or for something
why
said
Saturday?
Did last week. She doesn't get caught up with the lick, so she did every stuff there she might have missed and stuff they might.
So like my daddy. That's what my daddy.
Sometimes she said they did it last week. What they did not get a chance to get the beating. See, she make up the beating.
Me didn't get beaten in advance. Me never get beaten in the back.
Dealey says Jamaica is only recently appreciating that physically challenged persons can be of value to the society. It is going to be a while before the stigma of mental health is penetrated to the point that these challenged people can be helped strategically. Yeah, because it's just kind of strange. Like even individuals with Down syndrome, I see where they have a school, I think in Jamaica, where they can go on their training. Because when I came to the United States, like, way back when, and I saw like individuals with Down syndrome working at the schools and working at the, supermarket, I was like, this is strange. Why is it happening in Jamaica? Because they are functional and they can do things, but they're not being used. They just lock them away. They don't let them go to school and all that stuff. But they do need to tap into those things. I see where they started. I'm not going to take it away. They have started. I've seen it, that they have started to do that, which is good. Okay, another one. Arlene said we need to address the mental illness in Jamaica. A lot of the people on the street from my childhood days just never got any treatment.
Never at all.
So sad.
Never. I agree with
still
that.
not dealt with.
And that's where I was going with that conversation. That is true. Absolutely true.
Yeah.
They just exist. They just exist.
Yeah, they just stay there until they disappear. And like, what happened? Disappear.
Yeah.
And they say what happened to, like families usually take their mentally challenged family members and bring them to other parishes and just drop them off. Because we used to see a few people in Falmouth that we didn't know where they came from. And they just appear one morning.
We had one some mayors who used to do it too.
Oh yeah, I remember under the PNP, they cleaned the street of Montego Bay and dumped them. That was wicked.
Well, there are others that used to say that a lot of mad people that you see about the place come from Mandeville, because they would scrape them up in Mandeville and carry them all over the other place, because you never would find mad people on the streets of Mandeville. But they said that whoever was the mayor back in those days would do that. Whatever it is though, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate how we have been cultured to not treat our people with mental issues. If we have somebody who has some form of physical disability or worse, mental issues, they usually just stay at home, lock away, them don't have no use to themselves, and somebody stay at home with them.
Not Bargain though. We have one named Bargain. He used to walk from Boscobel to Orocabessa, right? Every day. And I mean, the only thing Bargain does, he gets up in the morning from Boscobel and he walks to Orocabessa post office and then walk back to Boscobel.
At least he can go back home and then getting daily exercise.
Getting exercise, yes. Exercise, yeah.
Yeah. Sandra says, growing up, I saw some of those people, madman or woman. Most of them would keep to themselves, but sometimes I think they become aggressive because of how they are treated.
Yes.
Some of them are stoned, trash thrown at them, etc. We should all remember that they are human beings and not some random wild animal roaming the street. If you treat a dog aggressively, they will turn around and bite you. And as I said, you know what's sad too? Growing up and seeing some of the mad women would come up pregnant. And there was this officer that told us that at night, they would rape them, take them and rape them. And I'm like, how are you supposed to sleep with somebody like that? Not like that, but somebody that is sick, filthy and all that stuff. But they used to rape them, and you used to always see them pregnant, the woman pregnant, walking around, which is sad.
Sharon says the government clearly doesn't see the crisis of mental health as a priority. Actually, very well said, Sharon.
It is. Peter Gay said, exactly, Michelle. I had to reevaluate myself. Oh, that's why you switch majors? I'm telling you, you ever do a psychology class? Either one of you?
I did.
Oh my God. It's crazy.
The guy who taught us the psychology class, he himself was diagnosed with some mental.
Oh, really? Oh God.
But the way he was diagnosed very early, but he's very bright. I mean, super bright. And so he told me he had me alone in class one day, and he just let go and tell me everything. It was really nice to listen to.
Wait, sorry. I don't hear nothing from Bishop over in Switzerland. Where is Bishop?
Yeah,
not on today?
Bishop. No, let me see. Let me read some more and see if Bishop come on. Gail Cousin said, my grandmother always say books and boys don't mix.
What? Books and boys? What does that mean?
Focus on book or focus on boy?
Oh, I'm trying. My mind is gone somewhere else.
Diana said, my dad got licks growing up in Jamaica. He still has a scar, and visits in Jamaica, he reminds his mother. She said, you deserve it, and see how successful you are now in foreign. My mom said, do not let our kids out of your sight visiting your mother. If she touched them, Dad told her, she said, no, I'm scared of your wife. She will fight me if I touch the kids. Dad said, I will fight you if you touch my little princess. That is true, because as I said, with some homes, I don't let my child go alone, because some people still have that mentality. And they feel like you're pitney.
That's real. It can be someone's saying something on YouTube, says, unfortunate thing is that the society helps to drive some people crazy. It is a fact that people become homeless, and then society pushes them to become mentally unstable with all the abuse that they face. That can be true, because I remember there was a guy in my day when I was living in Montego Bay. He's a very powerful guy now. He's an artist, commentator, and when he was walking around Montego Bay barefoot, everybody thought he was a madman. I mean, they treated him, they walked away from him, and he's quite accomplished right now. And when you saw him back in the days, you didn't want to have anything to do with him.
Yeah, sometimes they have a mental breakdown too. Sometimes people just go through a mental breakdown.
Oh, he didn't. That was his life. He wanted to do what he was
doing a study.
But yeah, I don't know if he was doing a study, but that was his life. He still lives like that, but a little bit more elevated in terms of, because he has to deal with other people. But when I saw him had a backpack and that pack on him back, barefoot, and some woolly things around his neck, and him walk from somewhere up in the back of bush there to come to Montego Bay all the time. and he was.
Maybe he's eccentric.
But Leo, that sound like that I could have been Muta Baruka. That could have been.
You know, that's what I thought.
A Boba Dread. Could that be anybody?
I'm not calling any name. All right, but yeah.
Okay, as we have a guest, let me just read through a few comments before the guest.
Yeah.
Okay, Lloyd says, these subjects we are discussing is not synonymous with Jamaica. Travel or read about other cultures and populace of the world. Stop beating up beating up Jamaica. We will surprised to see how many benefactors USA, UK treat sick mad people in their country. Like we know. We're just familiar with Jamaica. We're not beating up Jamaica.
No, we're not beating up Jamaica. Let me defend that we're not beating up Jamaica. We are citing what is happening in Jamaica. We're speaking about it. We're sharing our own perspectives on how it ought to be. We're sharing the experiences that we have gathered worldwide as to how other countries and territories treat their people, and we're talking about how it was when we were growing up. We're not beating up Jamaica.
And guys,
we have to learn to speak about these things and be acceptable to the differences in opinions around it. Whether it is good or it is bad, we must embrace it because it is us. It is our Jamaica.
Thank you.
Well said. Well said.
Well said,
Dr. Diana. Gail Cousin said he wants a fruit.
Hold on. And make everybody know that Diana live at Jamaica. She don't live at foreign. Okay. All right.
Yes, and to me get me look at things them from foreign.
Okay, Gail Cousin said he wants a fruit. He can ask his mother or the friend in a kindly way. You have to break certain manners to a certain extent. Delcita say, I am a first time on your program. Welcome. I hope you enjoy. Yes. Lloyd said, Leo, stop copying out, man. You are looking to the wrong entity for direction. America cannot give you this. America cannot, I don't know what that means.
I'm not so
sure.
What do you think he means before we go to
we don't understand, but make it go on.
Not lie, but line have a budget pick. Stop pick on Jamaica, Leo.
Yes.
Haley says, why say come to America? My child is 35 and I wanted to send her to Montessori school in Jamaica from back then. Exactly, it is in Jamaica, Montessori.
Yes, Montessori schools existed in Jamaica and we practiced it unwittingly and we practiced it deliberately.
Maybe not in St. Mary.
Can we acknowledge our guests? Can we acknowledge our guests?
Okay, let us add that because there's a lot of comments, but let's acknowledge our guests.
Yes. Well, take a little break, everybody. Everyone listening, thank you so much for listening. We have a guest. She's also a broadcaster on Jamaicans.com. I've known Ashley for the better part about 3 years. We had a little chat about 2 years ago, just before she had her nice little baby.
Ooh.
How old is the baby now?
She's 1 year and 8 months.
Oh God.
Awesome.
Diana has two. One is
both in college.
Both of them in college. All right, and then Michelle has three, right, Michelle?
Yeah, he's 3.
Okay, so I'm gonna be alone, not have any.
We have about 20 children, people. 20. Just don't want to say it.
Welcome, Ashley. It's good to be on the same show with you. I don't remember that we've ever shared a show.
No, we've never done this before.
But I know that you have some things. Meet Diana, Dr. Diana Davis Smith. She is the president of Catholic College of Mandeville. That's on the far bush in Mandeville, somewhere there. and then Michelle, Attorney Michelle Fanger. She is in Jacksonville. And she's from upscale Hague.
Okay.
Really push. Yeah.
What?
All right.
So Ms. Maud, before you go any further, tell us where you're from. We always want to know.
I'm from Montego Bay. I spent some time living in Kingston, but I'm actually back. I'm so happy to be back in Montego Bay. Yeah.
Jamaica.
Which school you got, Montego Bay?
I went to Mount Alvernia High School.
Good Catholic institution.
I have a lot of friends that attended that school.
Okay.
Oh my God. That's nice. I love people from Montego Bay.
Okay.
I don't like Mandevilleans and Trelawneyans.
I don't like bad mind, but that's
I think the person you were talking about, Leo, from Montego Bay, I'm gonna hazard a guess. I think you were talking about Changa Changa.
No, I was talking about they just called the name a while ago.
Muta Baruka.
Muta.
Oh, it was Muta?
Yeah.
Oh,
my cousin.
Yeah.
John Starling used to walk from.
When Muta, when people start taking Muta for seriously, was when he made his first song, his first hit. Because his first song that he released, it was a hit, and they start taking him serious. And they say, "Oh, you know, mad." But yes, but I know about Changa Changa too. So yes. Yeah, man, it's good to have you.
It's good to be here.
And I know you have a program going, and that's why you're here to tell us about the program. So please
go ahead. All right. So sometimes I mention it on Jamaicans.com, but I also have a media company, livewellja.com, and each year, well, started in 2020, we give away grants, right? So last year we gave away COVID-19 grocery grants to 5 different Jamaican families who are severely impacted, with small children who are severely impacted by the pandemic. You know, either the parents lost their jobs or had to accept reduced income, or, you know. This time around, we are targeting small businesses, micro to small businesses, because sometimes the service that you offer is not necessarily so large scale. So they would say it's a micro business. Once it's registered, you have a chance to win $50,000 Jamaican cash.
Because I was about to go and apply right now, because you know. Go ahead.
All right. So is it that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Is it that these small businesses must evidence that they have suffered because of COVID?
No. What we need from them, of course, is proof of registration. So they just need to prove to us that they are registered. We don't want to do any business with illegitimate firms. And it's really simple to register with the Companies Office of Jamaica. So once you're registered, then this is exactly how you would have a chance to win the 50,000. So we offer training in digital marketing, right? And a new program, training program that we're rolling out is called Project Reset, specifically for micro and small businesses in Jamaica who just basically feel as if COVID has collapsed everything, wiped them out, right? We are going to help you to reset your marketing strategy. So it's a 6-week digital marketing coaching program. Each week, the participants will receive a digital marketing challenge to be executed on their platforms, right? Their business page. Once they are in the top spot, meaning they won the challenge or they come close to it, at the end of the 6 weeks, the business with the most points gets a $50,000 cash.
Yes.
So we're literally helping them to scale up their marketing strategy, tighten up their digital literacy, right? Get customers, make money, and they will give you some money for doing that.
And that's such a nice thing, because here's what. Even if they don't get the $50,000, they got training that they wouldn't have gotten in the first place, right?
Yes.
Excellent.
Yes.
Excellent.
And where can they go for this competition? I'm not sure if you said it earlier.
All right. So this is how we're treating the application process this time around. If you are interested, you have to publish a 1-minute video on your social media page for the business. Choose whichever one, Instagram, Facebook. It must be the page where you have your products and services. You post it explaining how you will use that $50,000 to unlock success in your business. Tag Live Well Jamaica. We're on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. Tag us, and we'll start the process there.
Okay, and do you have a website that people could go to get all this information?
Yes. So our website, or we like to say our blog, because it's really a blog. It's livewellja.com.
livewellja.com.
I like the name too.
All right. Miss Ashley Ann Mott. Thanks for sharing that with us.
Are you related to?
Yes.
Are you the daughter of what's your name again? Judy?
You've asked me this question before, Leo. No. As a matter of fact, I've never met her.
Well, you need to fix that so you can say the auntie next time.
Exactly. I'll make some more money.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing that with us, though. In Jamaica right now, any opportunities to revamp or revitalize, business operations, particularly small business operations, is welcomed. And people really need to get more familiar with those platforms. So thanks for that opportunity. What's it called? Live Well. The blog is livewelljamaica.com.
So it's livewellja.com.
Right? So not Jamaica, ja.com.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, livewellja.com. And or we're also on Facebook, Instagram, Live Well Jamaica. Just look for us. The information is there. I just did a video explaining the application process and how people can benefit from the program. And even if you, as I think one of you guys said it, even if you don't win the 50,000, you would have benefited from training that will help you to get more customers.
Here's something else. Here's something that I recognize, because last year you gave out 5 groceries to 5 families, right?
Yes.
This year you moved up a little bit and you're now giving benefit to businesses. What does that mean to me? It means to me that you are opening up opportunities for these people to go and hire other people. That is the biggest thing that we need in our market, to offer small business the opportunity to hire people. So that's production. And once you are producing, you don't need to give people baskets, right? If you offer these opportunities, there's a trickle-down effect. And
that is good.
Right.
Teach them how to fish.
I will reach out to your blog.
You'll have a lot of fishermen.
Yes.
Thank you, Dr. Diana.
Alrighty.
All right. Thank you so much, my love. It's nice to see you again. And give everyone a kiss for me.
I will. Thanks again.
No bias and prejudices here. Please hug her for all of us.
Sure. All right. Take care.
All right. Have a good one.
Bye-bye now.
Bye.
Oh my God.
Oh my, we have so many comments coming in.
Let me hear them. Go to them.
Okay. Nadine says, yes, they dumped them at All Park in Manchester. The mad people.
That's Diana's people, them. Okay.
Leo says, Ron says, Leo, up here mad people come from your area. I mean mentally ill. My bad.
And we have one writer named Leo. Yes.
Cashman Furnace says, I don't think beating is an appropriate corrective action. The psychological needs need to be addressed. We need to find the real reason. Yeah, we need to find out why children are acting out. Michelle Ogburn says, anyone can become mentally ill. You can be okay 1 minute, and so sometimes it just takes someone who cares. That is true. Something can just click and then just change. Marvin says, there need to be 2 mental hospitals in every county in Jamaica. Well, it would be ideal, but we know we can't afford it, but at least central locations. Yeah. Nadine said, she left. Hi, Ashley. Diana said, when I was a little girl, I was only allowed in friends' driveway. Parents do not go indoors to their home. I was always pretty smart, picking up on adult vibes. One of my children's dad did not like his look, told my mom she's a social worker, and no, she said something to him. After that, when he saw me, he would look the other way. I agree with that theory. You shouldn't allow your children to be just away at people's home. Know what's happening. play outside. That's what my grandma used to do, play in the yard.
It happens all the time because of the way we grow up in our communities, in our country. Kids just move from one place to the next, and it's really not generally a problem. No, it's probably a big problem right now.
It is a problem. We don't go in people's house. I always spend the yard. Or they open the door and you see them going, but in a room, lock up with door.
Well, how I grew up, we never have bars like how you guys grew up. We never have no grill bar or anything. We all stay open the whole
We never have grill. I just recently seen Jamaica broke out. We get grill.
Here's a comment from Beverly.
Okay.
Great discussions about mental illness in Jamaica. It takes money to properly care for these individuals. Government spends money on what they value. If mental illness is not prioritized, the problem will persist. Medications can adequately stabilize these persons to become productive again, but the resources and the infrastructure must be in place to facilitate reintegration into society. So some will never be reintegrated. So facilities need to be equipped to do so. Money will always be needed. Agree.
Yeah, because there was a social media lady that everybody liked, Solani, the one that got locked up that through the big 9-night party that was charged. She's a mentally ill person, and she would update people because people could tell, like she would say she'd have to go to Bellevue to get her medication. So she would, tell us that, oh, I went to Bellevue to get my shot, to get my pills. But she showed like she would have to take them daily and what time she has to take them. So like her doctor would say, take them at night because it might, affect her where she's lethargic and, so it would say, take it at night. If she doesn't take her medication, you could tell she was about to have an episode, and then she would go get her medication. So it is there, but it's just like, she have to have somebody dedicated. Like she has her son that watches her, make sure she goes. So you have to have people committed to it too. Like
I must tell you that, boy, this COVID and this DMR, what is that one? DMRM, what is it, that new law that
Disaster Act?
Yes. When you think about paying $200 because you don't have on your mask.
200,000.
Lord have mercy, Jesus Christ. $200,000 because you don't have on your mask. That puts a bit more pressure upon you mentally. I mean, come on, Jesus Christ. $200,000? And why do you have to go through the court? Why couldn't it be a ticket? It can't be a ticket.
But they said
why can't it be that there are masks available for people all the time?
All the time.
Free of cost?
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah, because that is true. They can't put a box there. Or ask the people, do you have a mask? You give them a mask, taste it. And if the next time you see them again, you ask them what happened to the mask. They refuse. Obviously, they're refusing to wear the mask. Then you move to the next step, but find out first what's happening. Where's your mask? Do you need a mask?
With all the money that them waste off in all the different places, them could have set up a little operation in communities where people just make masks and give to nation. Clot them and line them up with whatever need to be lining. So them have 3-ply lining that is required for good cloth masks. And make masks.
Hey, Prime Minister.
Productive.
Prime Minister, why aren't you there?
I'm working on sorting this out but I don't know. I have to form my own party.
Okay, Peter says,
don't go there.
We need one more party. We don't need not one more party.
Of course, we have one. We have the UIC. We have the UIC that made a big stink this week. The UIC. You can go join the UIC.
What it name? What was there? Oh, you mean the marching people?
United. United something under the Congress.
Yes,
United Independent Congress. Yes. Yeah. Why not? You could go there.
But I don't see that I see no woman. You see any woman in there? Them look little.
Yeah, man.
Like
they had
women in there.
Women.
I go and check them out. I go and see how to apply for party membership.
Trust me, and that kind of publicity stunt will get you into the prime ministership in a quick way.
I may have my cabinet ready up, wash down, and clean up and put on.
Michelle, and
I will not be a part of that mockery. I will not.
Well, before we start joking, I want to recognize 2 persons who are on. I want to recognize my friend Shamin Shotkan, who lost her mom a few weeks ago, and the funeral was earlier this week. I know that Charmaine is heading back to Cayman for work, but I just want her to know, you know, that we really love her and we're here to support her in any way, shape, or form. Her mom lived a good life. Her mom was a really good person to not just her family, but she was a real, true Jamaican woman who helped out, you know, and Charmaine continues in that vein. As to her other sisters, but more so Charmaine. Charmaine is my friend from high school, and you know, just want her to know. I want also to, you know, always laugh about my painting. It's not here right now. I'm going to next week. I'll be behind my painting that my friend June did, and June is having a major exhibition in Cayman this evening, and I want to just wish her all the best. On the matter of the fried dumpling, I have a chef up in Toronto, Monica. So Leo, when we need fried dumpling and ackee and salt and all of that, we're heading to Toronto, and our personal chef, our executive personal chef, will fix all of that for the 3 week because we're doing our Canada trip.
Because my grandmother said not to eat dumpling a road. And I explained
we're not eating it a road, we eat it in the yard.
Yard. We will fly come to Canada for the right fried dumplings. You have to send a picture, come show me first, because I know when it tastes good by looking at it. I know when it fixed good by looking at it. Yeah.
As a matter of fact, she have a sister who is not no chef, but she have a sister in Florida. You could have get your fried dumpling them quick.
Well, let me know where the fried dumpling is. Me's a fried dumpling specialist, you know. Fried dumpling.
Right, people not bringing a fried dumpling picture. When I ask the people them for participating and no. Did you ever get any video? For would I ask them to send them fried dumpling picture?
Fried dumpling and ackee is the best thing in the entire world. Fried dumpling and ackee.
Next week, I am going to be broadcasting eating my fried dumpling and ackee and saltfish.
You can keep. You're not coming on to the show next week. You were going to say something, Michelle.
No, there are lots of comments, and we know we're running out of time, and I know people are going to be upset, but we'll get to what we can get to. Gail said our culture is unique, and we should embrace it.
We are.
Peter said, Leo, we know Ashley, no? Hi, Ashley. Oh, she left already. Lloyd says, Dr. Diana, Leo is in pain, asking a lot of questions and making statements. We are looking to and listen to the wrong folks, the US, for guidance. And if we go back to praying and making God the center of our lives, all these things we are concerned with will be taken care of. Enough blessings and God blessings.
Thank you very much, Lloyd, for that note. And we agree with you, but prayers without action not will be productive.
That's nothing. Okay, Ashley left. Good morning, Ashley. Diana said, I am happy to see you here. She left already. Both my sisters attended Mount Vernia, but I'm exceptional because I attended Harrison. Sorry, bestie. Carly said,
Sandy?
Sandra.
Okay.
Carly says, hi, Ashley. Nice seeing you this morning. Gail said, very good program, Ashley. Lloyd said, love the conversation and opinion. Most important, it is not just critiquing, but informative. The young lady that reads the comments may just use some big word. Hopefully you will soon have another male voice to balance the perspective. Oh my God. We have Leo, he's very balanced. I'm reading the YouTube comments. I'm just reading the comments. Gail Cousin said, when we were young in Jamaica, our elders were very protective of us. That is true. My grandmother, oh my God.
Yeah.
Sandra Sterling said, I broke all cycles, including licks, whatnots, and figurines.
What the place name out of Rosalie where you stop with the Diana? What the place name?
Palmyra.
The big Palmyra. I have to write it down. Somebody asked me the name. Which part where we were. So I have to show.
Palmyra. It's now called Jewel's Grand. But it was originally Palmyra.
I have to show off on them. So we have Palmyra.
And we will always be there. Whenever we three are in Montego Bay End, they can always find us there. So you can make that known that they will always be able to find us there at least one evening.
There you go.
Okay. I guess Lloyd is not talking to us. I don't know. He said, sorry, Ashley. Now I know your name, young lady.
Okay, but this is Michelle. This is not Ashley, but go on.
No, I think he was confusing me with Ashley because she has a program too.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I probably have seen Ashley on the air on Jamaicans.com before. And
yeah, okay. So he never knew her name.
Though.
Okay, all right. Neely said, Marvin said for each county, that would be the 2 facilities. If they use what it really is in Kingston sounds like good start. Cornwall, Middlesex, and Surrey. I don't think they have the money for all of that, but they should definitely have one in Cornwall.
Did you know, Michelle, did you know there were 3 counties? I was just asking.
Yeah. Middlesex and Surrey.
Answer me.
Yeah, but you know what? Not to be true though, when I read county, what did I say? County, I was thinking parish.
Oh.
Because you know, true here we have county.
We have counties in Jamaica.
Yeah,
All right, so we are at 8, we have at 11:55 and we need to wrap up.
Oh, we gotta go.
Osh.
We have to go, people, but thank you all.
Yeah.
Oh, Sandra named Sandy.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's how she said Sandy Michelle. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Sorry I didn't get to everything. All the comments, but we appreciate them. We want to see you back next Tuesday, right?
Yes.
Tuesday night.
Oh my gosh. And then Diana, go ahead.
Oh, guys, it was a pleasure being here on a walk. But take care of yourself. Next week, Saturday, for me, I will have my fried dumpling and my ackee and saltfish on a walk. But don't bad mind me now.
God
Oh
almighty.
yeah, people, before we get to Leah, remember COVID is still a thing. Sanitize, wear your mask, social distance, and get the vaccine if you're so inclined.
Yes. And remember, if you don't have anything to send to Jamaica, contact JD Tan and make us send down some masks and some sanitizer and things. No, he will sell it to CVSS and then we'll sort it out. Come. All hands on deck.
Okay, guys, thank you so much for following and being a part of, so we love enough. All when we cuss, all when we cuss, we still love enough. So all you have to do is come Tuesday night again and come, let's talk again. All right. And we'll try to read everybody's stuff. It's a wonderful Saturday morning. And thank you so much for being here. We'll see you again Tuesday night. Michelle, and on behalf, let me finish the show. On behalf of my colleagues, Michelle and Diana, I say I bid you farewell until Tuesday night. Bye-bye now.
Bye.
Oh, who that? Leo, that.